Beautiful peoples, welcome. Welcome to Hood Philosophy, where we're going to discuss and maybe even answer some of life's biggest questions in a way that clicks with people from all walks of life, eh? So we talk about the hood cats, the single mums, maybe even the dads that only get to see their kids every now and again, people struggling with addiction, mental health issues, people that have disabilities, people sleeping rough, the working class, people that don't usually listen to something like this. Today's episode is the second part of a two-part series on taking the leap. But first, I'd just like to give thanks to all you beautiful peoples. I want to send love out to all you beautiful peoples. Thank you for taking the time to watch and listen to Hood Philosophy. We're on a journey. It's going to be a long journey, I trust. Again, I ask you fellas to bear with me. So the second episode, I wasn't happy with. But that's how we learn, right? So what I did wrong in that episode was I'm actually recording this straight after the second episode. So what I think where I think I went wrong with the second one was I tried to have too much structure. I think I thought about it too much, and that was my mistake, right? Sometimes we ruminate, but I don't think I was ruminating. I like to be prepared. This is something that I care about, so I want to be prepared. But I think I thought about being prepared too much. Whereas for the first one, I just let it come, One thing that I am happy about is my engagement with the camera in the last episode. I thought that was pretty cool. You're gonna see. I did clip a little bit. I'm not sure why. I should have just kept it going. So that I apologize for. I think it would have been interesting for you fellas to see where I was going when I did lose my train of thought, but I got overwhelmed. Oof. I don't often get overwhelmed. I like to think of myself as cool, calm, and collected because my work, the work that I do, I've been, involved in some incidents that are pretty fucking hectic. We'll get into them further down the track, but now's not the time. I just like to shout out the brother Tim for letting me use his setup again. The bro lives across the road from me, and I should probably tell you a little bit about Tim. So Tim's a good man. When he moved in the estate, so whilst I grew up at Inala, I live in Greenbank now, and I live in an estate. When I first moved here, absolute culture shock. Oof. It was like moving to the Hamptons. People still look at me like, what the fuck are you doing here? Bah, I don't care about that anymore. I'm very comfortable with who I am. So back to Tim. I've known Tim for going on 3 and a bit years, I'm pretty sure. And me and Tim have a little bit of history. You could say that I've taken Tim under my wing and shown him a few things. And he's been pushing hard. I'll keep pushing him harder. Don't you worry about that, Mr. Tim. But yeah, he's a good man. He's always there to help. He's got a high energy, and it's a beautiful energy what he puts out there in the world. He'll be taking the leap soon. He's going to be finishing up with his job, and he's looking at working with people. And yeah, I dare say he's going to do quite a decent job, just because the brother seems to love people, and people seem to love him, and that's something that clicks with the job that we do. You got to love people, otherwise, what the fuck are you there for? It's a big, and that's something I have to touch on. Please, support workers, we we have a massive responsibility. The scope of the responsibility, I believe, most support workers don't understand. It doesn't matter how long your shift is, whether it be 3 hours or 72 hours. Your client's hand life is in your hands, eh? Never forget that. Never, never forget that. Never like underestimate the scope of the responsibility that we have as support workers. I don't like the word support worker. We do more than support. We mentor, we guide, we lead, we teach, we lift up, we praise. And you're going to hear lots about me being a support worker. That's passion and purpose right there, aligned, and it's beautiful. Back to the bro, Tim. So, Tim kind of asked me to start pushing him after we had a little bit of an argument. I'm not sure how Tim feels about me speaking about this on here. All good, bro?
All good, bro.
All good, all good. Sweet. Okay, so let's be frank. I sent Tim a message. He didn't get back to me for a few days. To me, this is rude. We had a little bit of a disagreement, but Tim self-reflected a little bit. I self-reflected a little bit, and we came to a compromise, But I set the boundary with Tim, and Tim wasn't a pussy, Like, sorry to use that word, but you know what I mean. Like, he showed a little bit of heart that he could handle that truth and still want to take on some constructive criticism. Criticism's not the right word. Feedback, I guess you could say. The bro just wants to do better and be better, and that's something that I click with. I, I'll help anyone. You know, I quite often wish that there was someone around to take me under their wing professionally, outside of work. But lucky they didn't. Maybe I wouldn't have ended up doing this, because this is cool. And have you fellas noticed? Have you noticed I'm doing a much better job because not as much structure, all right? The structure's still there, don't get it twisted. I need structure. It's actually one of my mottos, anthems for life. You want to hear it? You're going to hear it anyway. Routine, structure, consistency. Let me break it down for you. So, routine, right? Everybody knows what routine is. Yep. Same day, same place, same time. That's how it works for me. It's not going to work the same for everybody else. What does that create? Structure. And what do you have to do to maintain this beautiful piece of, whatever you want to call it? Some call it, like the miracle morning routine, like that miracle. Oof, that's powerful. Yeah, lost my train of thought, but that's okay. We're just gonna carry on, because it's okay to lose your train of thought. And I'm definitely not nervous now. We've been chatting for a little bit, but yeah, I thought I'd tell you a little bit more about myself. That thought will come back, and we'll go with it. We'll go with it. A little bit more about myself. So, like I said in the last episode, or it might have been the first episode, I see myself as a little bit of a philosopher and a poet. The poet is set in stone. Philosopher, that's obviously very, very questionable. For me, yeah. I've only started taking on that term because people called me it. And obviously I agree. and that's why the show's called Hood Philosophy. The hood part because I'm from the hood, philosophy because I think I'm a philosopher. I'm writing about these topics all day, every day. Let me tell you, like, oh, what do you guys think? Should I have my writings around me? You know, would that be inspiring, or is that cheating? That's an interesting one, eh? Because I spend probably, we'll say, between definite 20 minutes to 40 minutes every single day writing, and we're writing on all these topics that we're going to discuss in on this show, this beautiful show that we called Hood Philosophy. Yeah. So, what are some of them topics? So, we started with taking the leap, and I thought taking the leap can go straight into like our fear of failure. Where's our fear of failure going to take us? Who knows? But I'm going to go with my gut. Yeah. Why do I think I'm a philosopher? So I have this horseman theory about what we chase in life. I'm just going to introduce it because I think it's quite interesting. And it's love, wealth, hope, um, beauty, and happiness. So, what do I mean when I say love? So, the notion of fairy tale love, right? Like, it's where, it's all waterfalls and butterflies and rainbows, like what society's told us, what the movies have told us, what the TV series, like all the TV shows have told us. That notion of love. I don't I don't see that as love. For me, that's when two people love each other in that sense, that's more alignment. That's respect. They've they've converged, right? To me, love is lust. I'm not gonna get too into it right now. Don't worry, we're gonna get into it further down the track. And then we got hope. So for me, it goes despair, hope, faith. Oh, despair, hope, action, faith. So hope is it's hopeful, right? It's nice. Like we hope for something. But where does that come from? A place of despair. What used to be despair. And we're going to get into hope as well. Beauty, like you can see where I'm going with that one. Um, happiness, so fleeting moments. See, that's what I see love as, like society's notion of love as like a fleeting moment of lust, like and happiness is the biggest one for me. A fleeting moment of happiness. Nah, for me, that that doesn't click. And that's my horseman theory. So they're all the things that I believe we chase in this life when we should be worried about alignment, contentment. I think contentment is probably the right word. So some people would define that as happiness, and yeah, like I guess there's an argument for that because it's it is what you make it. When you're of that mindset, you find the beauty in the beast, and that's powerful. Is it happiness? No, I don't think so. But many would argue so. Yeah. Why else do I think I'm a philosopher? I can play devil's advocate with myself. I like to ask these questions, not just of myself, of everybody around me. Um, if we're lucky enough to ever have a conversation, you'll get my drift. I'll break down your walls. I'll hit you where it hurts, but I'll do it so subtle that you might not even notice. Um, I have a way of articulating some of these issues in ways that others can't. And I can articulate to, I believe, everybody, like when everybody hears me speak, they understand. It might not click with them, but they understand. Do you get what I mean? So yeah, I'm a philosopher, a poet. So how long have I been a poet for? Since last October. No,